as IOSIS. When I was a teenager, I started playing bass and started a band with some friends called Civil Definition, and we carried that band on and off through my early 20s, and then mid to late 20s I joined a band called Fallen Empire playing bass, guitar, and synthesizer, and then about 4 or 5 years ago I started doing this solo-ish project called IOSIS. Civil Definition, my first band, was definitely a metal band, but we kind of were really happy with the fact that we made metal without like really getting too involved with the metal tropes, metal kind of standard activities and stuff. And then Fallen Empire was more of like a synth rock kind of, very Trent Reznor inspired sort of situation. I grew up in New Ulm, Minnesota. Small. It's about 14,000 people. Very German. And got the second oldest family-owned brewery in the country in that town. So very German, very into beer, lots of polka music. But other than that, not really. It's a town where there really wasn't a lot of opportunity or a lot to do unless you're into sports or driving trucks and hunting.
So not much of a music scene.
No. When I was growing up, it was my band, Civil Definition, who we were a metal band, and then the other band that was kind of in parallel with us, people the same age as us and such, who we played a lot of shows with, was a ska band called The Edibles. The biggest difference, I guess, is there's just so much opportunity in this city. Minneapolis has just incredible music scene, and that town of 14,000 people in bumfuck Minnesota definitely does not have that. There's plenty of opportunity for me to perform as a musician and collaborate with musicians, and also there's just so much opportunity to make friendships with other really good musicians and who are also really great people as well. And it's this really like interesting kind of sweet spot, I think, where like there's a ton of musicians in this city. It's big enough to have a ton of musicians and allow them to thrive in the local scene, but it's also small enough that like you know everybody, and you see everybody, and whether you're there playing a show or you're both at a show watching another band play, or you're collaborating together. It's just the right mix of big and small where this really cool shit happens.
Yeah.
And people are, for the most part, really open for like cross-genre experiences as well. People, I really like doing like mixed bills, like what I do, there's not really a lot of other people even doing that kind of shit, so I can't even do a show that's all that, but like, I love playing with metal bands. I think that's one of my favorite things, and people are really receptive to that. Nobody's making any money doing it, but that's definitely not relegated to here. We're running out. We lost a lot of venues recently, and that's definitely
The
Triple Rock and Reverie, and even going back to the Uptown Bar. It's just, I mean, venues come and go, but it seems like we're at a low point right now where there's a shortage of good venues to play at and to see bands play at. Before, so I was like the fucking biggest Green Day fan. And then one day in 8th grade, my friend had his Discman and his headphones. He's like, dude, you gotta listen to this. I put his headphones on. This is the morning before class, and he played March of the Pigs off the Downward Spiral, and I was like, fucking changed everything right there, man. I went from being this giant Green Day fan to like this huge Nine Inch Nails fan, and I'm still just really, really into Nine Inch Nails and deeply inspired by Trent Reznor and what he does. Yeah, that's something you don't want to. I mean, the tortured artist thing is one of those tropes that kind of like, I don't know, you can use it. You're like, yeah, life sucks and I'm in a lot of pain right now, so I'm gonna like really dig in and make some music. But also like, I don't know. I found you don't really need that as well. Like, fuck it, I'm kind of happy, and I'm gonna still make really good music.
Yeah.
Or try to, at least. Bass guitar.
Bass.
I wanted to be a drummer, and my parents like, no, we don't want a drummer in the house. And some friends of mine were putting together a band, and they're like, hey, we need a bass player. And I was like, fuck, sweet. I'll get a bass and be the bass player in the band. So the day I got a bass and practice amp, I took it directly over to my friend's garage and was in the band. It's like Maith, they're not around anymore, but that band was like, I still love that band so much.
Absolutely.
Lungs, Grogus, we were talking about them earlier. Self-Evident, Hardcore Crayons, American Cream. I'm really digging what those guys are doing. There's so many good bands in this city. It's hard to pin them all down. Oh, I was just talking to Tom over there earlier, taping Tom, and he and I attended this Art of World show about 4 or 5 years ago, and Retribution Gospel Choir. You probably know who they are.
Yeah.
They played this Art of World show at 331, and that set that they played is the greatest fucking set of music I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like those three guys were just so on fire and so pushing past, constantly pushing past this boundary. They would push past it and reestablish it, and then just push past it again. And they just kept doing this, and it was like everybody's jaw was on the floor. And I had heard after the fact, a year or two later, I was talking to somebody about that set, and he said that he was doing sound, and he had mentioned that he was at the soundboard and no one was next to him, and they just looked at each other, and the Retribution Gospel Choir was already 10 or 15 minutes over their time slot, and they just looked at each other and they're like, you gonna stop this? No. You gonna stop this? No. Just they'll stop when they're done, and that's what's gonna happen. And they played 20-25 minutes over their slot, but it was this fucking force of nature or something that could not stop. It was so good. I mean, the most base goals, or the most immediate goals, are just really simple. I want to find happiness in creating music and creating art, and I definitely have been able to do that with IOSIS in a more broader kind of physical or tangible sense. I mean, I want to get more music released. I want to release physical, vinyl or whatever. I'm doing my first live film score soon, and I'm really excited about that. That's been a goal that I've been trying to accomplish for a long time, and I want to do more of that. I want to do more putting my music to moving images. And, I want to. Part of the reason I started this project is I was getting really tired of just kind of the drudgery of playing in a rock band and playing in bars. And, everybody plays a set, gets off the stage. Next band plays a set, gets off the stage, and I just want to break out of that and do different things and kind of try to redefine what it is to perform music a little bit. So yeah, whatever I can do to break that down and move in these different directions, I really enjoy that. Abdul Mogard, this is this guy. He puts out kind of droney, ambient, soundscapey music, and the legend behind the guy is that he was, I want to say he's from Estonia or something like that, and he's this dude that worked in a fucking steel factory, and then he retired, and then he started releasing this really incredible synthesizer driven music, which I think the whole story is horseshit. It's just some producer that's doing it under this name, but the music is really, really good. Another band I've been really digging hard into the last handful of years is Unheard. I've been a huge fan of post-metal, IOSIS and Neurosis and Cult of Luna for a long time, and Unheard, they're one of the first post-metal bands I heard, and I just, something happened a couple years ago where I just, really found something in them that hit me deep.